Why do printer settings ignore Word document margins when printing? Imagine spending time perfecting your document with just the right margins and layout, only to find your printer ignores those settings completely. It can be frustrating, right? Well, the reason behind this is tied to how printers work and how they communicate with your computer. When you set margins in Microsoft Word, you're defining the space around your text within the document. These margins are part of the page layout, controlled under the Layout tab in the Page Setup group. But printers have their own physical limits. Most printers cannot print all the way to the edge of the paper because of hardware restrictions. They need a small and printable border, called the hardware margin, where the printhead cannot reach. So even if you set the margins to 0 in Word, the printer might still leave a white border around the page. Another factor is the printer driver, which is software that tells the printer how to print your document. If the driver or printer settings specify a default margin or scaling, they can override what you set in Word. For example, if your printer's default paper size is different from what you chose in Word, the printer might resize or reposition the content to fit. Some printers also have options for borderless printing, but these need to be enabled explicitly in the printer properties. If they are not turned on, the printer will stick to its hardware limits. Matching the paper size in both Word and the printer is very important. If they don't match exactly, the printer may adjust the print area, causing your margins to look different or be ignored. Using Print Preview in Word can help you see how the document will look when printed. If the preview shows the margins as you want but the printout does not, the issue is likely with the printer settings or driver. To try printing without margins, you can go to Layout, then Margins, and select Custom Margins. Set all margins to 0 and confirm. If prompted, choose to ignore margin warnings. In the printer properties, look for options like borderless printing and enable them if available. Make sure the paper size in Word matches the paper loaded in the printer. Even after doing all this, some printers will still leave a small margin because of their hardware limits. For best results, always check the printer's preferences for margin or scaling options before printing. Restart your printer and computer if your printouts ignore the settings. You can also print to a PDF first, then print the PDF to better control margins. If you need very precise margins for professional printing, use a printer that supports borderless printing and set your document accordingly. Keep in mind that headers and footers also take up space and can affect how your content fits on the page. In the end, Microsoft Word's margin settings define how your document looks on the screen and within the program. But the actual printed margins depend on the printer's hardware and software limits. To get the results you want, you need to adjust both your document settings and your printer's options. Understanding these factors helps you troubleshoot and achieve the best print quality possible.